Good morning. I'm John Saunders, host of the Creator Community Podcast from New Degree Press, here with another segment of Meet the Author. Today I have with me Naeema Olatunji, author of a new book that is just about to come out, Raised as a Lie. Naeema, so great to see you this morning. The segment is all about getting to know the authors, but thanks for joining me.
I am so excited and honored. Thanks, John, for having me this morning.
It's my pleasure is all mine. It's really fun to see you and get to explore this journey even more so with you. The podcast episode was awesome. That just released just a couple of days ago on the Creator Community podcast. It's available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts out there. Naeema has a fantastic episode out there that I'm not going to lie. Pretty sure I might have cried a little bit during your interview, hearing your story. It's a pretty unbelievable one, but certainly a story of hope and inspiration for so many.
Yeah, I hope so. I absolutely hope so. And thank you for saying so. And happy 2022.
Holy Christmas. Is it 2022 already? What happened?
I know, right? Yeah.
It's hard to believe 2022 is already here. So when is your book actually publishing? Do you have a publishing date worked out?
So we don't have the exact date. It is this January. I'm waiting any day now for an email from the printers to say it's shipped. So we're excited. I am, it's that journey where you're just like, it's just a race to do all of the requirements and get it all done. And then you breathe a sigh of relief. And now it's hurry up and wait.
It's like, right. It's like the biggest term paper you've ever written.
Yes.
And now, you do all these things and then now you're in the queue and waiting for it to come around.
Yeah.
Wow. And what is your first event you have around, aside from the podcast, what's your first event you have around the book? What do you got going there?
I'm actually really excited. We're going to be doing a book launch event at a local bookstore, Black-owned bookstore here in Atlanta next month. And I couldn't be more excited. I had the blessing of emceeing Morgan Wider, who is the author of Worthy Wardrobe, her book launch event. And I'm excited. I could not have ever imagined that I would be in her seat right now. And I'm excited. So that's really, really a dream come true.
Incredible. Morgan Wider, probably just about single-handedly responsible for the pocket of authors that New Degree Press has in the Atlanta area. She's been quite a proponent and such an incredible business she's built with her book and all of her work. So this segment, Meet the Author, is really about getting to know the authors, everything we need to know about this person behind all of these pages here that maybe isn't necessarily the story, so we can really understand you and the unique story that you've been on. So how about we dive into the rapid fire questions here? Is that
perfect? Let's
go. We're ready to go. All right, let's do this, Naeema. First, I think most important question, best sandwich.
So I am a pescatarian. So anything with grilled salmon, I'm all about. I'm absolutely all about. So
grilled salmon. I don't think I've ever had a grilled salmon sandwich.
SLT. So a salmon, lettuce, tomato. I'm all about it.
I just learned a new sandwich. I love that. Favorite color.
So I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite most anything, which is super, super sort of unique. But I do love the number 3. Not a favorite, just love the number 3. But outside of that, no favorite color. I like them all.
Since you said probably my favorite number, I'm going to show you my coffee mug now.
Yes! I love that. 1 + 1 = okay. I'm going to need that.
That was a gift from one of my clients trying to explain what it is I help them do. And that was a fun one. But 1 + 1 = 3. I was born on November 3rd. 3 is a great number in my life. And by the way, love the shirt color. If you notice the wall behind me, green, very popular color in my household.
Yes, it is. It is one of my more favorite from my business. Actually, it's a accent color.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I certainly have a couple of questions around that as well, but a couple more before we get there. Since we don't have favorite or best, what is maybe a more memorable vacation spot for you in your journey?
So I'm actually going to choose the one most recent. After a year of going through all the hard things when you write a memoir and you dig into real personal childhood trauma stuff, you need a break. And I was raised around the water on the West Coast. So I just actually got back from Hilton Head Island off of South Carolina. And I absolutely had a blast. It was just 5 days of sitting in front of an ocean in December, and it's 70 degrees. And I really, really appreciated that because in Atlanta, you sort of feel like you're landlocked, even though there's an ocean 4 hours away, right? It just doesn't feel the same as living in Southern California. So it was really nice to be at Hilton Head and just take a deep breath and exhale and know that the hard work about writing the book is done.
And not only was writing the book a hard part about it, but I think re-experiencing the trauma, as you said, your book, of course, Raised as a Lie, and the episode name for your podcast we came up with was How to Own Your Identity. What might you tell people about those two lines there, if you would?
What I believe more than anything is true for each one of us is the ability to get still enough and be mindful enough and present enough to hear your own voice. We are bombarded with all of these external voices. 24/7, we have access. And if you're like me, I just joined the AirPod community. So now we have these things that's plugged into our ears, right? Like it's all the time, 24/7, 365, you have access to external voices. And I think the most important thing that we could each do for ourselves is get quiet enough and sit long enough and be still enough to hear our own voice and walk in our own truth.
What a powerful message. And I think more important than ever in this day and age we live in. And, maybe people are starting to do that as we hear more about the great resignation. I think 4 or 5 million
Yes.
people have left their job in the last 6 months or
Yes.
something like this.
Yes.
And, what a great bit of advice to have out there for folks. Raised as a Lie will be available any day now on Amazon, wherever you buy books online. And Naeema's podcast episode, How to Own Your Identity, is available on the creator community on YouTube and Apple, wherever you consume podcasts. Those are available right now. Let's get back to the rapid fire questions here. Naeema, what's one thing you own that you really should throw out?
Great question. So I did a whole purging over towards the end of the year. And one of the things, so I'm a recent empty nester. I raised 3 kids and the last one is in college. And my oldest challenged me to go down in the basement. And I was like, well, why would we want to do that? We don't want to do that.
Don't go there.
Um, no, go down there. And he was like, Ma, you have grandma's Tupperware. She's been deceased for 12 years. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, okay. I put it in a bin. Don't tell him. I haven't thrown it away yet.
It's our secret. It's our secret. Side note, Naeema, the colander sitting in my cabinet right now is the one from my grandmother's house. It's probably 70 years old. It's a Tupperware. It's kind of this very, that 70s, 60s green kind of.
Yes. Yes.
And we use it all the time. It's an old-fashioned plastic colander. I love it. What is the scariest animal for you?
I would say, gosh, so lions are majestic to me. And I absolutely I'm in just sheer reverence of them. But if I had to meet one, that would not be so majestic to me.
I'd say that qualifies as a pretty scary animal. So we hinted at it before. You are a doctor of a chiropractor. What is the best part about being a chiropractor, Naeema?
Being able to sit in front of families and give them back hope that the medical community took from them. When somebody tells you that you just have to live with the pain, just keep consuming the pain meds, it's not going to get any better. You just have to absorb that this is your life now. And then being able to sit in front of them and say, absolutely not. Your body is designed to be healthy and to be a self-healing organism. And let's go to work and remove remove the interferences so your brain can talk to your body again and it can start that healing process. That's pretty dope to me. So I get excited every single time I get to do that.
What another, so many messages of hope and inspiration you offer to the world, certainly with your book and your work. What is the most, for those who might not know, what's the most, is there a common adjustment in chiropractic work that people often get?
What I find is repetitive is the adjustments that I do to the upper mid back.
Hmm.
So we spend so much time hunched over computers, looking down at phones, really, really stressing our upper and mid back. And sometimes we women look and see there's like this little hump at the back of the upper part of our back and low part of our neck, and that's called a dowager's hump. That is not attractive. And so what I would say is that that we have an opportunity to correct that. So I do a lot of those adjustments every day.
I wonder if there's a good name for it. The computer hunch. There's a, I know you're someone who loves to challenge yourself. Certainly, writing a book was one of those challenges. What's your most audacious goal for 2022?
I just signed up for a triathlon. I am a
Wow.
newer cyclist. I started cycling a couple of years ago just as an activity my youngest and I could do. But then what ended up happening is I got more excited about it than he was. And I was like, let's do it in the early mornings and on the weekends. And he was like, hold up, Mom. Maybe that's not the best idea. And so I continued on, and I decided that I wanted to ride a century, which is a 100-mile event, so equivalent to a marathon. And this year, so that's not until July, but I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. And so I signed up for a triathlon at the end of April. So I turned 51 in April, and I wanted that to be a milestone. So wish me
That is
luck.
that is awesome. Well, good luck with that. Sounds like you're well on your way. Back to the very important questions. Better fruit, apples or bananas, Naeema?
Definitely bananas all day,
Oh,
every day.
you're the first one wrong today. That's interesting. uh, have you ever asked someone for their autograph now that you're about to sign dozens and dozens of copies of your own book from the pre-sale buyers?
I I know, but you know what? I sent my youngest one time to go get an autograph. So he worked at Trader Joe's, and a couple of the LA Lakers were coming through, retired, were coming through Atlanta. And I was like, please, just ask him. And he wasn't successful, because he didn't come through his line as as a cashier. But I did ask. So whenever possible, my belief is you have children for a reason. Utilize them.
I love it. Well, no doubt you'll be start stretching your wrist, adjusting your wrist now for all those signatures you're about to make on your dozens and dozens of copies from your successful pre-sale.
How exciting is that?
Right? It was certainly a fun day in my household when I got to sign all my books. Uh, Most memorable movie in your life? What's a movie that you really enjoy watching or have enjoyed over the years?
So my family and I are big Harry Potter fans. So when they were little, we used to listen to the audiobooks,
Oh,
and
wow.
as the movies were coming out, it would just be this big event that we would go and see. And then when I went back to graduate school to become a chiropractor, the program was super intense, and so every quarter when we'd have a week off break, we would do a Harry Potter marathon. So some of my favorite moments are just like sitting in front of the TV, curled up on the couch with my kids, watching one of her J.K. Rowling's books, movies after another. Loved them.
Such a fun series. My oldest read all of them cover to cover in a very short period of time. He really
That's amazing.
just consumed
That's
them.
a huge feat.
He did it, and he actually has an extraordinary recollection of all of them. It's really unbelievable if you ask him about it. Last photo on your phone.
My dog, I have a chocolate lab. I took a picture of her this morning when we were out on our hike. We have a river, Chattahoochee River, that's behind my house, and there's a trail along there, and it's lots of fun to watch her do the most ridiculous things in the forest.
Chocolate labs are the best. I love it. Favorite song to sing with or without an audience?
Oh gosh, Usher. What is the name of the song? I think I
Sometimes if you start singing it, you'll remember.
yeah, I don't remember. I just remember the lyrics, and I am tone deaf. Like I can't do it to save my soul. But when that song comes on, I belt it out as if I'm on stage.
Nice. Couple of questions about the writing journey, and we'll wrap it up here. This episode of Meet the Author with Naeema Olatunji. Her book is out any day now on Amazon, wherever you buy books online, and her podcast episode on the creator community, wherever you get your podcasts on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, what have you. Favorite writing location through this journey, Naeema? Where did you get your energy and your flow to write?
Surprisingly, my bedroom. I did not think that I was going to work and be efficient. Surprisingly, in my bedroom, I sat, don't tell any other chiropractor, I sat in a chair and my laptop was on my bed and I hunched over that bed for
Sounds like
lots of hours.
somebody needs an adjustment, it sounds like.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful. I went to my chiropractor every Friday morning. Thank goodness.
Most bizarre moment in the writing journey. What moment made you go, this is author work?
Most bizarre moment would probably be somewhere around, I don't know about bizarre, but the most unbelievable was at the very beginning when Professor Custer said I would write 25,000 words, and I laughed out loud because I thought he was joking. I was like, that's so cute. That's really funny. Now, really, seriously, what are we looking at? And he didn't think that was funny.
For someone who likes to challenge themselves, that's an interesting response, but you did
Yeah.
it. Your
Yes.
book is out there. How many words did it end up being, give or take?
57,000.
50 cents. So that's, just a little above average. For those who may not know, books are typically 40 to 50,000 words, 250 pages. So a bit longer. Raised as a Lie. Well, you had a lot to share and quite a journey you've been on in your life. And I'd encourage everyone to go out and check out the podcast and certainly pick up a copy of Naeema's book, Raised as a Lie. Boy, if you've ever woken up and found out that, life wasn't quite what you thought it was, this is a story you want to hear and read about. It is an unbelievable story, Naeema, and I really appreciate the authenticity you brought to the podcast episode, and actually got a copy of your book myself and can't wait to read it. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
last question. Describe your writing journey in 5 words.
Ridiculously challenging to my soul.
I think
And
that's 5 words. Ridiculously challenging to my soul and worth it, right? The power of creation, the journey of creation is such an incredible journey to be on. So many times we go into it thinking, we're thinking it's an output journey. And in fact, I think many of us have learned it's a learning journey in so many ways, and so much that we learned throughout this process. And what an incredible story you have to tell. Anything we missed out on here that you want to share?
I am just grateful. This has been your willingness to share and help guide through the process has been invaluable. So I just want to say thank you. I'm so grateful. You had such invaluable input throughout this process for me, and super encouraging when you go about a project when you are gainfully employed and you've got a lot going on. I have to say that you were an inspiration for me. So thank you.
Well, you are too kind. Thank you so much for saying that, Naeema. As I said, Naeema's book is due out any day now, and go check out her podcast. Get a copy of her book, Raised as a Lie, and the podcast episode is called How to Own Your Identity. And again, if you've ever had a question about your own identity, I will be surprised if you have a story like Naeema's out there. It's quite a tale to tell. It's a really interesting story of hope, inspiration, and overcoming challenges. Naeema, great to see you this morning. Thanks for jumping on this episode of Meet the Author from New Degree Press. Have a lovely rest of the day, and thanks everyone who joined in today.
You too. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.